Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Recently, Treyarch, the lead developers on Black Ops 6, of course, have actually gone into some additional detail and discussed various different elements of gameplay here in Black Ops 6, teased a little bit of what's to come in future seasonal updates, and actually how we could see some pretty significant impacts on Call of Duty as a whole because of some features introduced here in Black Ops 6 gameplay. You may recall recently, the devs actually revealed that they want to do a bunch of different remaster updates for some map content here in future seasons for Black Ops 6. And alongside that interview, Dexterdo and Charlie Intel have also done several others where the devs talk about some details they've really never addressed before, including some big things that the community has been asking about. And that's actually what I want to start here first on. The devs have actually responded to a lot of questions and a little bit of concern about the cosmetics in game, mainly how they actually tie to the game itself. Obviously, we know, and it's been this way for years now, microtransactions and cosmetics are a constant in Call of Duty. Doesn't matter how broken gameplay is, if multiplayer is on the verge of being unplayable, if zombies has a million bugs and glitches, if Warzone is being hacked on like crazy, the store always works. If there's a bug with the store, it gets fixed quick. That's just kind of the reality of Call of Duty. And another big thing with the microtransactions and the cosmetics is all the various controversial conversations about the cosmetics themselves, introducing crazy, just ridiculous skins and blueprints versus having milsim stuff and realism skins and stuff like that that are actually rooted in the overall storyline for the game and actually blend in more with the overall Call of Duty universe rather than having, you know, ducks run around or, you know, various different wild skins like that. So the devs were actually asked about this, and while they do give more of a PR response that I admittedly will poke fun of, you know, a little bit, they do also give us some insight into this too. So Miles Leslie, one of the creative directors at Treyarch, sat down with Dexterdo in this interview and talked about these cosmetics. So the article reads saying, in a conversation with Dexterdo, Miles Leslie spoke a bit about the cosmetics and the balance of fun versus realism, obviously a huge talking point in the community. And he says fun always comes first for us. Of course, we want to stay grounded in the DNA that makes a Black Ops game unique when it comes to core gameplay, but we also like to break the rules if it's going to maximize fun for players. What he doesn't say at the end of that sentence is also if it also doesn't maximize profits for Call of Duty and Activision at the same time. But obviously they do want the game to be fun as much as they also want the game to be realistic in other senses. When it comes to cosmetics, the Black Ops series naturally lends itself to some pretty outlandish themes when you consider we are the birthplace of Call of Duty Zombies and all the crazy stuff that comes to the storytelling with that in our game. So we like to have fun there too. The team has already delivered some of my all-time favorite operator skins, and we're only in the first season. So long story short, yes, there's going to be Black Ops based skins, but also the fun skins are what stand out the most. Those are what do get people talking. And then ultimately the obvious answer in a lot of this is that those fun skins sell the most. If the duck skin sells 200 bundles and a milsim basic operator that's got like a blacked out outfit sells 15 bundles, they're gonna make more bundles like the duck skin. That's just the business side of Activision that's always going to overtake anything else. But he does go on to explain things are a little bit different elsewhere. Dexterdo says, however, the mindset is slightly different when it comes to building out the campaign with a focus on keeping that as detailed and accurate as possible. So here Miles says the campaign has a tightly defined cast of characters with an era-specific look to them that fits the story that we and our friends at Raven are telling. The cool thing is, because the story then continues directly from the campaign into our multiplayer experience throughout the post-launch seasons, we now get to develop new looks and lore for those characters while simultaneously building out the cast for both the Rogue Black Ops and Crimson One factions. This is something we take very seriously at the studio, and those who remember the continuing story with Stitch and Perseus throughout the Cold War seasons will know what I'm talking about. That doesn't mean we also can't have some fun with cosmetics along the way. So essentially, they just have to find the balance, and that's what they aim to do. So the battle pass is typically based around the story stuff. Even though sometimes that story can get pretty crazy in the post-launch seasons, the battle pass is where you'll find more of those grounded skins. Versus the store cosmetics, which get a little bit more crazy, a little bit more wacky, maybe based around the seasonal theme going on with the real life events, if it's the holidays or whatever the case is, or if they just want to poke fun with some other different bundles and crazy stuff like what we've seen before, where it's ducks and it's Godzilla and it's this, that, and whatever else, right? But again, at the end of the day, like I referenced earlier, sales are what also drive this the most. If one crazy bundle sells 10 times more than a milsim bundle, they're probably going to do more crazy bundles there. But it is something the devs have talked about. Now they actually have officially addressed the crazy cosmetics and microtransactions a bit within Call of Duty. But that's not the only thing that they went through and addressed here. This one actually matters a lot more to gameplay because the devs have also spoken out a bit more about movement. We did recently talk about some of the design directions that the devs spoke out about in regards to why they wanted Black Ops 6 to feel a certain way with Omni movement, but they also talked a bit more about its impact overall on Call of Duty. And as we get into this portion of the conversation, quick reminder, if you're new to the channel, maybe you have not subscribed yet, we should change that. Every single day, I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. If anything is going on in COD, this is the place to be up to date with it, so feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy this video, a like is always seriously appreciated as well. Really does help grow the channel. Much love to everyone who takes the time to do so. But Miles Leslie also talked even more with Dexterdo about movement, as mentioned here. Obviously, Omni movement is a huge thing with Black Ops 6, and we've also heard various different leaks and rumors about how it may be the plan going forward as well as we get into COD 2025 and even COD 2026, which is reportedly the next Infinity Ward title. So here is how Miles Leslie from Treyarch breaks down Omni movement. He says, only speaking for Treyarch and Black Ops here, we are obviously big fans of Omni movement and truly believed in its potential since we first started the concepting phase. It's been inspiring to see players pulling off so many incredible plays with Omni movement every day, and we're sure we haven't even seen the limits of its potential yet. Keep in mind, in many similar situations, this is the first time we've seen Omni movement in COD, obviously. So in theory, this is the worst we're ever going to see it. I like to compare this to, like, let's say a rookie in the NBA, for instance. Typically, a rookie in the NBA is the worst you're going to see them play, right? They're only going to grow. In most cases, you know, in some situations, the player just falls off, right? But typically, they start out as a rookie. They're only going to learn more and more and more as they get more experience under their belt. Then in their sophomore year, they're even better. The next year, they're even better, so on and so forth. In a similar situation, Omni movement here, this is the worst it's ever going to be in the sense that this is the trial period. They're seeing how it plays just in general. They're seeing what they could potentially tweak with it and adapt and evolve even more to make it smoother, to make it even more, integrated into all skill levels gameplay. So in theory, that's exciting that they even know already there's more to come with this that could make it even better. And then Dexterdo goes on to say, while there wasn't a confirmed answer one way or the other, the fact that Treyarch are sure we haven't seen the limits of its potential yet suggests they might want to keep exploring it down the line. And obviously, with some of the leaks and rumors of Omni movement extending beyond just this year's game, that certainly lines up well, coming from a dev directly versus what we have as insider information and various rumors for future Call of Duty titles. So in my opinion, certainly some interesting insights on some pretty hot topics here so far within the Black Ops 6 year. Curious to know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Is this sort of what you'd expect the devs to say? Anything maybe take you by surprise with them speaking out here? It's really not often we get a ton of one-on-one interviews with developers from Call of Duty where they actually are a bit more transparent on their thought process. Usually it's a lot of the PR stuff coming from the COD updates account or the Call of Duty account saying something that we all more than likely knew already to a certain extent, right? Like there's not as many surprises or as much transparency officially versus when there is a sit down with a specific developer here. So always cool to get some insight there in my opinion. If you guys did enjoy the video, a like rating is always really appreciated as I mentioned. And if you're new here, you want to make sure on a daily basis you're up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.